Why do erections disappear? When our erections disappear, as men, it feels shit, right? We're left feeling embarrassed, we're left feeling awkward about the situation, sometimes having to feel like we must apologize for it. We want to avoid these embarrassing situations. In this video, I'm going to be sharing the 2 reasons why erections disappear and what to do so that we can ultimately avoid feeling embarrassed in the bedroom. If you find this video useful, in the bottom right hand corner, you will see a box that says subscribe. Click on that box so that you can get the latest videos and new tools as I share them. So these 2 areas of why erections disappear. First of all, before we get into those, it's important to understand what's going on. So we know that the erection is disappearing, but why? Because so many videos out there say things like, stop watching porn, or go and work out, or do mindfulness, practice mindfulness. And these things are okay, right? They help, but if we don't understand why erections are disappearing in the first place that's unique to us, then how do we know if we're doing the right, how we get it sorted, right? How do we know if we're choosing the right fix? So we must understand why, specific to us individually, to then know what's the best how, to then know how we get out of it. So does that make sense? We know what's going on, so we're losing the erection, but we must find out why that is happening specific to us personally before we know how to get this sorted. So let's jump into these 2 reasons of why erections disappear. First up, I want to say it has been scientifically proven that men get erections when they're turned on only 50% of the time. Okay, 50% of the time. This is not what porn shows us. This is not what movies show us. This is not what we think in our minds as men, right? We can think we must be able to get turned on and get an erection 100% of the time. And if I can't, then something's wrong with me. I'm not a man if I can't. But this is not true, right? When there is some kind of arousal in our mind, there's only an erection response 50% of the time. So I want to put that out there first of all so that we're not in this danger zone, so that we can avoid this danger zone of thinking unrealistic thoughts about what our erections should be, okay? Or we think, they're not like how they were when I was 16 years old. It's totally different. So what are these 2 areas? The first one is medical and the second one is mindset. I'm gonna go through the medical first and then we'll spend most time on the mindset. So why might erections disappear when it comes to the medical area? Well, first up, if we're experiencing pain when it comes to sex or intimacy, that would be a reason why we're not able to get hard, because our body wants to avoid the feeling of pain. That's logical, it makes sense. Another area is if there's an issue with our body health. Could be prostate or our heart health or our weight, or if we're drinking a lot, right? These types of things with bodily health can genuinely cause erection problems. Another example may be medication, right? That we're taking some medication at the moment and the side effects of that, known side effects, are erection challenges. If any of these things are going on, a doctor is the right person to go and speak to. Okay, if you're experiencing any of those things, a doctor's the right person. Second, we spoke about is mindset. Now, if it's mindset, if you can relate to what we're about to go through, I'm your guy. For medical, please go and see a doctor. So, mindset. First one, stress. Okay, this could be relationship stress, could be work stress, it could be overthinking. Thoughts like, what if I can't get hard? What if it happens again? What if I can't satisfy my partner? That we feel like we're the spectator of our own thoughts. We keep on checking in. Is it working? Is everything okay? Just checking to make sure everything's okay. And we put ourselves off, right? So this first thing leads to stress. It stacks and stacks and stacks. And it's not just in the bedroom. We also said it's external stress. Could be overthinking about other things, overthinking about being a husband, being a father, work, these types of situations, and they all come into impacting in the bedroom. So that's the first one. Second is that then leads to what? It leads to a fear state. A fear state. There comes a tipping point where we can only handle so much stress before we go into this fear state when it comes to sex. And when we're in this fear state, what we then usually do as men is one out of 2 things. We either force it, so we try and push ourselves to have intimacy in that moment, to try and prove to ourselves, I've still got it, I can still do this, or things are getting better, right? We try and convince ourselves through forcing ourselves to do it, or we avoid intimacy, right? We avoid having sex, we avoid even going there, and we feel damn awkward about that because we know we're doing it, right? Whether it's withdrawing from the hug or taking a hand away or intentionally avoiding something that our partner has said or does because we think, what if it leads to intimacy and what if I can't do it? Right, an example of this is a client that I was working with and didn't realize for 5 years there had been a total avoidance of intimacy until he overheard his wife on the phone saying, it's been 5 years since we had intimacy. Perhaps you're watching this and it has been 5 years. Perhaps you're watching this and it's been longer. It doesn't need to get to that point and it doesn't need to go on for longer than this. Okay, it is possible to get this sorted, especially when it's mindset, you're in the right place. So if you can relate to any of these things going on, the mindset piece around stress, that leading to a fear state, and then it leading to us avoiding or pushing ourselves, trying to force ourselves into intimacy. Where do we then ultimately get as a result of that? Well, we get to this point of our identity taking a hit. Okay, remember that we said the whole purpose of this video is to understand, we know what's going on, we're losing the erection or the erection's disappearing. This is about understanding why. Is it medical or is it mindset? So that we know then the route forward. So we're just wrapping up this area of why now, and then I'll come on to how we get this sorted. So our identity takes a hit. We start saying to ourselves, I can't get hard when it comes to sex. I am not a man. I can't satisfy my partner. And then we become what we believe. Right? We carry these thoughts into the bedroom, we carry these thoughts around, we wear them like a cap, and it becomes who we are. And when we see things through that lens, that's what we get. So we want to, of course, avoid that. We want to unwire any of the wiring that we've done that is saying, I am not able to, I am not good enough. And how do we do that? Well, the first step is getting to the bottom of what's going on here. So we've started to understand the why. Second step, I'd like you to see what your personal score is on the performance anxiety quiz. This is a free quiz that I've put together specific to what we're talking about here, performance anxiety. It will show you what is going on and also how to start getting to the bottom of this so that we can avoid embarrassing situations in bed and avoid erections disappearing. If this sounds good to you, in the comments below, you will see a link to the performance anxiety quiz. Click on that link, it will take you straight to the page where you can answer those 10 yes or no free questions. You will then see your score, and I'll send you also a gift guide that will show you how we get to the bottom of what's going on. So head below to the comments, click on that link, and I will see you now at the quiz.